She said no to the king of reality TV and, just like that, the game changed. Meet Melody Shari, the woman who is rewriting all the rules, and no one is ready for her moves. Behind every viral post and clapback lies a secret strategy that nobody sees coming. This is the rise of Melody Shari, and she is taking Huntsville and reality TV by storm. Carlos King thought he controlled the show. Until Melody Shari refused to play by his rules, what she did next left everyone speechless. She built an empire behind the scenes, stayed steps ahead of everyone, and turned whispers into influence. This is the untold story of Melody Shari, Huntsville's unstoppable queen. Everyone underestimated her. Everyone except Melody Shari. Today, we reveal how one woman quietly seized control of an entire reality TV world. And no one saw it coming. It reminds us that you cannot let the noise of the outside world control you. Unfortunately, many people do. They get caught up in the chatter, the rumors, the distractions, and some even use that noise for their own advantage. But then comes someone like Melody Shari, who does not hesitate to speak her truth and dismiss Carlos King without a second thought. If you have been in Huntsville lately, you already know Queen Melody Shari is not playing by anyone's rules. She is rewriting them herself. This is more than just making noise. She is tossing aside outdated scripts, opening doors that were previously closed, shaking up tables, and forcing a new narrative, and the internet cannot get enough of it. Everywhere you look online, people are talking about her, analyzing every move, every caption, every subtle gesture. Fans and critics alike are watching as she bends the reality TV world to her will. Yet, behind the witty quotes, Instagram posts, and viral clips lies a story that has been quietly building for years. This is not your usual reality TV drama. There is no predictable conflict, no simple rivalry, no one-dimensional storyline. This is a power struggle, a calculated series of moves by someone who understands influence, timing, and perception, and Melody sits right at the center. She did not get here by chance. Her rise was deliberate, methodical, and far from lucky. Melody's journey has been one of strategy and resilience. Every step she took was carefully measured. She was not born into fame, nor did she stumble into it. She built her reputation brick by brick, learning the ins and outs of the business, understanding who to trust, and recognizing when to cut ties with those who were not loyal. Every setback she experienced became a lesson, every betrayal a reminder to sharpen her instincts. By the time the lights, cameras, and hashtags arrived, she was already prepared. Her approach is simple but effective. She does not react to noise, she controls it. While many in her position might let gossip, rumors, or petty rivalries distract them, Melody has learned to stay 2 steps ahead. She observes quietly, analyzes carefully, and acts decisively. Her presence on the set, in meetings, and online is never accidental. Every post, every comment, every subtle shade thrown in public is intentional. She understands the power of perception and narrative. In a world where what people see often matters more than what actually happens, Melody has mastered the art of shaping the story before anyone else even gets a chance. And make no mistake, her influence is real. She is no longer simply a cast member who follows directions or reacts to situations. She has begun to set the tone, to influence creative decisions, and even to shape the way the show is edited. Former producers and cast members have reported a shift in the energy around her. Those who once dismissed her as too outspoken or too ambitious are now seeking her guidance, pitching ideas to her, and allowing her input to guide major decisions. Melody's presence has changed the balance of power entirely. This rise has not come without challenges. Melody has faced opposition from those who feel threatened by her growing influence. People who once had control over the narrative, people who believed their positions were unshakable, have had to adjust. She has refused to be intimidated, whether by whispered threats, subtle attempts to isolate her, or pressure from influential figures behind the scenes. When faced with a choice, she has consistently chosen to act boldly, to assert her authority, and to make it clear that she will not be underestimated. One of the most striking aspects of Melody's ascent is how she handles confrontation. She does not need to shout, call out names, or create drama for the sake of attention. Her power lies in precision. A look, a statement, a carefully crafted post can communicate more than hours of argument ever could. By staying composed, by keeping her actions deliberate and her words measured, she maintains control of every situation. Those around her often react emotionally, but Melody remains steady. Turning tension into opportunity and scrutiny into leverage, her strategy extends beyond the camera. Melody understands the importance of building a brand that exists independently of any single show or platform. She is developing projects, cultivating connections, and creating opportunities that position her as a force beyond reality TV. Brands reach out to her directly, fans engage with her content in unprecedented ways, and her influence continues to grow with each move. She is no longer just part of the narrative, she is shaping it entirely. The internet has become a reflection of her power. Every post she shares, every story she tells, sparks conversation and analysis. Fans debate her intentions, dissect her captions, and speculate about her next steps. Social media amplifies her reach, allowing her to communicate directly with the audience while simultaneously keeping her adversaries guessing. This dual approach, commanding attention publicly while maneuvering privately, has made her a unique figure in Huntsville's reality TV scene. And yet, through all of this, Melody remains focused and grounded. She does not chase conflict for its own sake. She does not let fame or influence compromise her vision. Every decision she makes is tied to a larger plan: to create a legacy, to maintain control over her career, and to redefine what it means to be a leading figure in reality television. Her rise is not just about popularity, it is about power, strategy, and lasting influence. In Huntsville, the message is clear: the game has changed. Reality TV is no longer simply about on-screen drama or who gets the most attention in a reunion special. It is about strategy, influence, and narrative control, and Melody Shari has proven she is more than capable of mastering all three. She is not just playing the game, she is rewriting it entirely, one deliberate move at a time. Anyone who underestimates her does so at their own risk. She built her brand brick by brick, and each brick carried a cost. Every decision, every step forward, required careful calculation and personal sacrifice. Her bold motto, "Don't save crap," was never meant to be a catchy line or a fleeting catchphrase. It was a declaration of her standards and boundaries, a clear message that she would not tolerate fake loyalty, hidden agendas, or smiles that concealed knives. Melody's no-nonsense approach did not emerge overnight. It was shaped by years of experience, countless setbacks, and lessons learned the hard way. Her journey has been far from easy. Many people assume success in the reality TV world happens quickly, but Melody has been navigating this industry long before the cameras and hashtags arrived. She spent years observing, learning, and understanding the dynamics of influence, relationships, and power behind the scenes. She has seen how alliances form and collapse, how opportunities arise and vanish, and how quickly trust can be broken. Each experience sharpened her instincts and taught her how to move strategically, never impulsively. Melody has always remained vigilant, always one step ahead of those around her. She knows when to speak and when to remain silent, when to push forward and when to step back. Her ability to read people, situations, and energy allows her to handle awkward conversations, tense moments, and high-pressure scenarios with ease. This skill set is not common in the reality TV world, where emotion often overshadows strategy. For Melody, it has been a lifelong preparation for the spotlight she now commands. Her rise is also a testament to her resilience. She has endured moments of betrayal and disappointment that would have derailed others. But she used each as an opportunity to refine her approach and strengthen her brand. Every encounter, every challenge, and every setback was a brick in the foundation she has been building. By learning to identify false friends and recognize manipulative behavior, she cultivated a sense of discernment that guides her decisions today. Now that the cameras are on, Melody's preparation is evident. She handles herself with confidence and poise, ensuring that she is never caught off guard. She navigates complex social dynamics and behind-the-scenes politics effortlessly, demonstrating a maturity and strategic thinking that sets her apart from her peers. She is not just reacting to situations, she is shaping them, influencing outcomes, and maintaining control over her narrative. In a world where perception often outweighs reality, Melody has mastered the art of presence and influence. Her brand is more than her name or her image, it is a reflection of her values, her experience, and her unwavering commitment to authenticity. She refuses to compromise her principles, no matter the cost, and that has become her greatest strength. For those watching, it is clear that Melody is not merely another reality star. She is a strategist, a force to be reckoned with, and a leader who has meticulously built her empire brick by brick. Every choice, every move, and every boundary she sets reflects the wisdom of years spent learning, surviving, and ultimately, thriving. Now, in the spotlight, she is proving that preparation, discipline, and self-respect are the foundations of lasting power. Not even Carlos King could control her. Yes, Carlos, the producer, insider, and mastermind behind some of the most talked about moments in reality TV. He has navigated scandals, power struggles, and egos throughout his career, yet Shari managed to change the game entirely. When she turned down a major offer from him, the news spread like wildfire. People couldn't believe it. It was not just a refusal, it was a statement. This was not a quiet no, whispered behind closed doors. Saying no to someone like Carlos is a declaration in itself. It tells the world that you are more than a performer. You are not merely a face on a screen or a character in someone else's story, you are a creator with vision and authority. It was a moment that redefined her position in the industry. By rejecting his offer, Melody was asserting her creative independence in a space usually dominated by producers, executives, and behind-the-scenes power players. Carlos has built careers, exposed secrets, and manipulated plots to maximize drama and ratings. He understands how to shape narratives, control storylines, and influence public perception. For decades, he has been the one pulling the strings, knowing exactly how to get cast members to follow the script. But Melody refused to be a part of that system. She would not be molded, scripted, or silenced. Her decision sent shockwaves not just through the cast, but throughout the industry. It challenged the traditional hierarchy and reminded everyone that influence is not reserved for those behind the camera. Melody was claiming her space, making it clear that she could shape the narrative on her own terms. By asserting her creative power, she signaled that she was no longer just part of the story, she was in control of how the story would be told. It was as if Melody had taken the director's seat for herself. Stepping into a role usually reserved for those behind the camera, the response from the show's inner circle was subtle, at first quiet on the surface, but the tension behind the scenes was unmistakable. Cast members began to pick sides, some whispering in private, others openly speculating about her influence. Rumors circulated that Melody was the reason viewers kept tuning in, that her presence alone was keeping ratings high. Slowly, it became clear. She was growing too big for the show, and the entire environment was beginning to shift around her. Despite the undercurrents of doubt and the subtle pushback, Melody did not retreat. She refused to be intimidated or sidelined. Instead, she became sharper, more focused, and louder in her presence without losing her composure. Every action, every post, every public appearance was deliberate. A calculated move in the broader strategy she had been building for years. She began using social media as a tool for influence, crafting thoughtful Instagram posts that spoke volumes without needing to call anyone out directly. Her public appearances were equally intentional. She aligned herself with the right people, attended events that elevated her image, and subtly reinforced her growing authority in the industry. Even her clapbacks, delivered with elegance and precision, became a signature of her rising confidence. She was not reacting impulsively. She was setting the tone, guiding the narrative, and demonstrating that she was in control. Through it all, Melody moved forward with a quiet confidence that drew attention without creating unnecessary drama. Every calculated post, every intentional appearance, and every strategic comment reinforced the idea that she was not just part of the show, she was shaping it. She was transforming herself from a cast member into a leader, someone whose influence extended far beyond the camera's lens, making it impossible for anyone around her to ignore her presence or her power. It is queen behavior, calculated, strategic, like chess moves rather than fairy tale gestures. Fans love it. The suspense, the drama, the power. But the question remains, what is Melody truly building? Because turning down a Carlos King offer is not a small decision, it could change the entire Huntsville game. Carlos King did not reach his position by chance. He knows the game, and he understood exactly what Melody meant with her move. She was quietly building her own empire, step by step, without asking for anyone's permission. She did not refuse his offer out of pride. She had a bigger plan. And word began to spread. Melody had a vision for Huntsville's reality TV scene, and, for herself, rewriting the rules Carlos had set was exactly what he hated most: being told no. Producers started to feel the pressure behind closed doors as she pitched ideas, shaped storylines, and influenced which scenes actually made it to the final cut. It became clear that Melody was doing something bigger. She carried authority. She was not just following the rules like everyone else, She was thinking ahead to future seasons while others worried about surviving the present. Slowly, the dynamic on set began to shift. Former cast members loyal to Carlos now questioned their allegiances. Should they stick with him, or would it be smarter to side with Melody? Some tried to play both sides, but in Huntsville, that strategy never lasts. Melody has a sharp eye for fake support, and she cuts it off quickly. She explained it simply. Some people will try to provoke you, spread lies, or recruit others to their side. But instead of reacting, you pray for them and hope they find what they are missing. People only attack others when they have a hole in their own hearts. As alliances broke down, her social media began to reflect it. A longtime cast companion disappeared from her posts. Another posted cryptic messages about loyalty and betrayal. The fanbase split Melody's team versus everyone else. It was more than just social drama. Rumors started circulating that Melody was working on a solo project or even a spin-off, something beyond Huntsville entirely. Strategy whispers grew louder as her influence expanded, making some producers nervous. Carlos stayed composed publicly but reportedly began attending more meetings, offering warnings disguised as suggestions. The tension in the room was real. A king does not give up his crown quietly. Meanwhile, Melody appeared unfazed. She launched a skincare line, took photos with fans, and through subtle shade, elegantly living her life while executing a plan. Every post, every appearance, was intentional. She was controlling the narrative, not just reacting to it. Some even claimed she had early access to footage, shaping edits before anyone else. It may sound extreme, but in a world where perception rules, it is plausible. Melody's real edge came from surrounding herself with influential outsiders, PR pros, agents, branding experts, people who usually only step in for major projects. It became clear this was more than winning the show. Melody was creating a new game, where she controlled every piece. The Huntsville reality scene had never seen anything like it. She managed her image across screens, social media, and strategy, curating her own spotlight. Yet, even queens face threats. Rumors of a secret file, circulated private messages, receipts, possibly even videos that could be used against her. Whether real or a scare tactic, it rattled her circle. People wondered how far others would go to protect themselves. Carlos, silent in public, began his own quiet investigation, reconnecting with former cast members who had clashed with Melody to gather their opinions, or call anyone out directly. But every look, every word, carried weight. She spoke about betrayal, fake friendships, and people who think their titles make them untouchable. She also made it clear she had her own vault, and anyone who thought they had dirt better be ready. The internet exploded. Within hours, reaction videos popped up, and hashtags started trending. Suddenly, the power her adversaries thought they held was gone. Melody had publicly declared she was ready for war. People were curious about what she knew and who might be affected if she went too far. Chaos was attracted to that energy, and producers, realizing they were losing control, grew nervous. The conflict moved from screens to real life, with real consequences. Brands began reaching out to Melody directly, bypassing the show entirely. She was no longer just a reality star, she had become a force. A brand. A player with leverage. Networks could not ignore. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere shifted. Meetings were called, contracts reviewed. Those who once dismissed her as too much were now asking for her input, pitching ideas, and allowing her creative influence. Gradually, the power balance changed. Melody had become more than was shaping the show itself. By the time the next season was in development, she had a seat at the table. Rumor has it she influenced casting, guided storylines, and even decided which narratives would reach viewers and which would stay on the cutting room floor. She went from just a name in the opening credits to controlling the flow of the story. She never called it a victory. That is not her style. Instead, she showed up sharper, letting her actions speak louder than any sound. And Bite Queen, Melody Shari, mastered the art of a controlled explosion in a chaotic world, precise, timed, and unavoidable. Not messy, not noisy. Now everyone is watching because in Huntsville, there is only one truth. The game changes when Melody moves.